What's going on, everybody? This is Tate Canyon with Round 2 Magazine, and today we're here with the Issue 1 interview with Sean Wotherspoon. What's going on, man?
Yo.
Long overdue, so we're excited to finally do this and talk about kind of like the lore of the brand and the future of the brand and what we're doing here. So to start off, like, how did Round 2 start? What were like your early interests in starting the brand?
Me, Chris, and Luke were just like, you know, thrifter, vintage, reseller type, you know, like just going to, not even just vintage clothes, but like, you know, always reselling our sneakers or trying to buy shoes off friends or trade with friends. It wasn't really a resale culture then. It was just like Facebook groups, Instagram had started in 2012 and I started using it to sell stuff. So like, yeah, I don't know, just that. Or I would bike around. So like I would sell like $5 polos around Richmond at barbershops. Me and Chris and Luke would do like little events at like sneaker shows. You know, it was pretty cool. So yeah, just random, you like sold wherever you could.
Now there's like a huge vintage like boom right now because there's like a few different eras of t-shirts now that t-shirts have been around for a while. But before actually starting that show, what was like that first like hit where like you guys knew like, oh yeah, like vintage like is like its own market?
Just secondhand we knew was its own market because people wanted really nice stuff for a fraction of the price. And if you have the same Ralph Lauren shirt that's on the rack at the Ralph Lauren store, but it's 1/10 of the retail because it's been worn a few times, it's guaranteed business. Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff with Round 2 that people come to love early on and later on was the curation status. Like you guys had some of the best curation in Hollywood, Chicago, Miami, New York. Like all the tees were at the top of the top and everyone really crowned like Round 2 off the style. How were you able to curate such a really dope selection of stuff consistently compared to other people?
People brought in really good stuff for us to buy. But also, I just think we had good taste. I mean, we still have good taste, but it's kind of just all mixed together now. But I think we had just good taste and we were buying based on that taste and putting it in the store or on Instagram for people to see. Yeah, I mean, I don't know,
Just kind of in there.
Yeah.
So within this, like the store, what were some of the first steps you remember of actually getting the store, and maybe some sauce mixed in there for people that actually want to start their own vintage store on Melrose starting out?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, if you want to start your own store, like I would get like a business degree and I would learn as much about business and taxes and finance as possible.
Did you do that?
No, absolutely not. And
so why would you give that advice to somebody else?
Because if you want to have something successful, you have to know how to run it. And just because you know how to sell t-shirts doesn't mean you're like a business professional or like a finance professional. So I think like that's my best advice because then it lets your creative last longer. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Maybe for someone in your shoes, maybe doesn't have like the resources to go to college or get a business degree. What's some like best steps that you would probably give for that person? And maybe it's like find friends that have that stuff. But aside from like
just start reading. It's all free. It's all free knowledge. It's everywhere. We're just never told that we should read up on how to create tax breaks for your business or, you know what I mean? There's just like all kinds of stuff that we're not like super like privy to. And I think people should just read more. Like I didn't go to college. I probably should have spent more time like reading about things because you could just Google right now, like tax, I don't know, like you could probably like Google a tax course.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you could just like take a tax course just like through reading it. So yeah, people should read more, you know? I think if we read more as a whole as people, we'd know a lot more.
Totally agreed. So another part about like kind of like reading stuff and like finding stuff and doing it on your own, the YouTube channel. That was something like something, I know, right? Something super early on with the brand that was super big, and you guys capitalizing off of like the daily life of the vintage store.
Yes.
So while creating the Round 2 show, what are some like key elements that you think would was like the catalyst to kind of getting that off the ground?
The round 2 show, I mean, it was like, you know, not scripted. It was filmed really well. You know, Graham, my friend who filmed it, like, I think he knew us really well and stuff like that. And so he just like knew what moments to catch, when to catch them, you know, and our whole thing was just kind of like documenting what was going on every day. So there wasn't like a whole, I'm not that hip to all this shit. So maybe I'm just like talking shit and I'm wrong, but tell me if I'm right. When we started the YouTube show in like 2014 or whatever it was, 2015, I don't know. But like, was Mr. Beast around? Like Mr. Beast and like these big YouTube dudes, was that a thing?
Show.
Because we didn't know, and it wasn't we weren't like, oh yeah, we're gonna like get subscribers and become the next Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
YouTube, the subscribers actually just like meant nothing. And we used music that we didn't have the rights to. Monetization wasn't really on the, you know, on our
like on your
our plate for it. We were just like, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? It was a way to like advertise and just like, hey, if you want to make your own show, you can post it on YouTube, and they're not going to charge you for it. You know? So like, yeah, that was never the end goal. Was like, how can we like, you know, blow it up or edit it the right way? It was just like, let's show every day for fun, for what it's worth. You know?
Totally. And it gained like a whole new audience, would you say, out of just you guys uploading that and other people seeing the people of whatever Miami or New York or Los Angeles.
Yeah, I think people wanted to be on the show, right? So then like people would come into the stores because they knew that they would be like on the show, and they knew that them and their friends are watching it, you know? So it was like a cool way to be part of round 2.
100%. So moving forward with round 2, the pandemic comes around and you guys start shutting down the stores. Can you give a little bit of context to the people, kind of like what happened around like 2020, 2021 with the brand?
I think the beauty of the magazine is that it's not round 2. Like finally we can just talk about something but ourselves. It's like, we're talking about you, we're talking about your brand, your favorite sneakers, whoever's favorite fucking designer now. You know, like my favorite restaurants when I go eat vegan food, you know, whether you care or not. My favorite places to shop. You know, it's a magazine about all these other, like our favorite brands, what our friends are doing, what the community's doing, you know, like this is round 2's way of just saying like, hey, thanks for everything. Now let us just talk about you, you know? Thanks for the last, you know, 10 years, thanks to the last 15 years, whatever it is. And like now round 2 is going to make itself a platform that maybe we can write about the next upcoming resell store. Maybe we can tell someone's fucking come up story, you know, who's doing something like what we did back then and be the platform that we didn't have. And so really round 2 magazine is just like, this is like our final form of like giving back, right? Where it's like, look, we've been a resell store. We've been a boutique, we've been a brand, you know, we've done all this stuff and we've went through it all and we've learned about it. But the greatest thing that we can give to anyone is like, yeah, like a collection of round 2 shit is sweet, but a magazine's great because it's sustainable for us to keep around. We can still inject like our brand heritage and personality into it, but like the best thing is we can like talk about everyone else and what they're doing and just like fill a place that wasn't really filled for us, you know, like anytime a magazine would come to us and write about us, we were so hyped. But it's like that doesn't really happen anymore. It's like a lot of the platform stuff is digital. You know, who's really writing paperback anymore? So this is just like our give back, you know what I mean?
And I feel like the give back then in 2013 to 17-ish was on the YouTube, where you guys were giving back to people while giving them like a peephole into Los Angeles.
Yeah, I mean, we were taking like
vintage.
hundreds of thousands of dollars in loss every year just to put that show out and never monetize $1 of it. So it was truly a give back. And I mean, this is
like a different way of doing that, where it's like we're putting a spotlight on other people.
Yeah.
So we could then have them give the sauce and have us give the same people but in a different way with the magazine.
Yeah, this is the next version of the show is the magazine, you know. This one we want to put in your hands and we kind of want to bring it back to a more like analog time, you know, because it feels like people are moving in that direction anyways. Trying to, you know, like tape decks and vinyls and whatever's. So we're doing a zine.
Hell yeah. Can you explain to everyone real quick the cover?
Yeah. Really, look, Tate's the genius behind the cover and stuff like that. It's all vintage t-shirts. He's hand screening them and hand printing them. Also, you know, this has been a big thing for Round 2 and the brand and the store itself is kind of like not letting go, but also for me, just letting it live through someone else's perspective. You know what I mean? Like, I've spent the last 10 or 15 years with Chris and Luke trying to like constantly battle to show Round 2 through all of our different visions. And so it's nice to see someone like Tate come along and just, you know, give a fresh view on like what Round 2 could be, what it can be, and how we can still use some of what we do to be a part of like this new thing, you know? The vintage tees as the covers is cool, and I think people really fuck with it. So yeah, that's what we have here. And you know, in coming issues, it's just gonna be cool. We're gonna keep involving our world. I like doing my little special food sections, and so yeah, I mean,
it's going to be super fun.
Yeah, it's going to be really
And talk about the worlds around too, just to kind of link everything together real quick, Japan and Tokyo.
Yeah, I mean, like Round 2 is like growing kind of in its new form. I mean, we still have our Chicago location, which is like a flagship. It's beautiful. Chris and Dom, like, they've put everything into it and it shows. Round 2 has our vintage store on Melrose still. We're the brand, and then I mean I spend a lot of time in Tokyo, so I'm always working out there doing collaboration and whatever we can do to kind of like keep the life cycle of Round 2 going, you know.
Is there anything for the future we could talk about for Gap?
I have no idea. Yeah, it's all coming out right now, so.
Okay, so nothing worth bringing up. All right.
They can Google it all.
They can Google it. Well, if you guys want to check out what Sean's got going on in the future with Gap, you'll have to check it out in the future. You'll have to Google it. But for now, my name's Tate Canyon. This is Round 2 Magazine. This is the issue 1 interview with Sean Wotherspoon, talking about the future of Round 2 and the magazine. Anything left you got to say to the people?
No, I'm really hyped on the magazine. I'm really hyped on it. I think the first issue we did like restaurants in Atlanta that I like, and we're gonna keep changing it up, so.
Hell yeah. That's it.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it, gang.
No.